So we are in a place, it's very close to the city center, as you can see, and here you press 1, you see, it's a company name, KRAKSPIRE.
KRAKSPIRE.
We're gonna make an interview, it's gonna be interesting. Let's follow?
Let's follow.
Just show a little bit how it looks from inside. Very nice building. Already from the first. It's over there?
Here we are, KRAKSPIRE, it's on the door. Hi everybody, so for today, LA to Krakow, we're going to do a different type of video for us. But as you know, all of the things that we featured are things that we've enjoyed about Krakow, and we've had some really good experience. So I wanted to do something today that's a little bit different, to talk about the process that Nina and I had when we entered the country, because we had a very good experience with that. And I want to share with you why it was a good experience and what we did that made a pretty scary process not so bad at all. So we're here at KRAKSPIRE in the center of Krakow. So I'm Jed. I'll just have our guests quickly say hello and introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Marcin.
Hello, I'm Sylvia.
Hi, I'm Joanna.
So I think first what we're going to do is just talk about the experience that Nina had trying to get residence and trying to get settled into Poland. And then I'm interested to know a little bit more about what KRAKSPIRE does, because they do a lot more than they did for us. And what they did for us was very helpful, but I think some of the other things they do I'm really interested to know about. So we wanted to learn a little bit about that as well. So these kind people at KRAKSPIRE very kindly offered to give us some of their time out of their very busy schedules just to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be camera guy.
Yeah, Nina is here today. So let's talk about the situation of Nina and I coming to Krakow. So it was a scary time. I mean, not only we came here in December, middle of December. I came in the middle of December. Nina subsequently came in February. I was changing job. I was changing home. I was changing not only country, I was changing continent. Also, as a British citizen, I had just 14 days before Brexit to try and preserve my EU citizen rights. And that 14 days included Christmas and New Year. So it wasn't much of a time to get things sorted out. So it was pretty scary. It was, and it was right in the middle of the pandemic. So it was a very stressful time for me, and it was a bit intimidating coming to Poland because I didn't know anything about the Polish authorities. But my thought about dealing with the Polish authorities and trying to get things done was pretty scary. So I actually reached out to Sylvia.
You call professionals.
Sylvia, you're the founder, owner, you're the boss, right? Of KRAKSPIRE.
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
Yes, well, we started KRAKSPIRE 3 years ago, 3.5 by now, to help expats find themselves in Poland from all perspectives. Basically, the idea was to mainly help with the paperwork, such as legalization of stay, legalization of work. And then with time, the services extended to other parts. We started to get questions: how can we register our car in Poland? How can we get our driver's license exchanged? How can we get personal address registration? So all this paperwork, we try to get the pain of arranging it from expats coming to Poland. We try to support them in that. Next to that, of course, as foreigners coming to Poland, there are lots of other questions, such as I would like to find a good school for my child. All of these things we also try to advise as much as possible, based also on our advice, but based on advices from our clients. And yeah, that's how it's going.
So what I got some support. I work for a big American company, and I got some support from my company to help me with some things. But I wasn't working with them yet. Literally, you know, as I arrived in Poland, I was starting that job, and some things weren't moving as quickly that I thought they should, particularly the bit about Brexit and getting my citizenship. So I actually started to do some of that on my own when I was in Los Angeles, and you got recommended to me. And I didn't really know anything about you. I didn't know anything about Craigspire. I didn't know anything about the process. But I reached out to Sylvia from LA.
How did you find Craigspire?
Well, the thing that was nice was when you started talking to me, you were like a real person. You were like just a normal, friendly person. And I actually felt like I was talking to somebody it was somebody that I could actually talk to. And all of the questions that I had, you were very sort of natural. You were very responsive, which was really important to me. Like if I sent you questions within 24 hours, you answered, and you were very positive.
I remember he said, I talked to Sylvia. Sylvia's great. Sylvia's great. She's gonna help us. She's gonna help. Like I was like, really? Great.
It was scary. But here's the interesting
Because
thing.
I was sitting in Russia waiting for some like action. Like what should I do? What should I do? He's like, relax. Like professionals handle our case. It's okay.
But I had to sort out the Brexit issue by December 31 because that's when Brexit was finalised. And as a British guy, I lost my EU rights. I had to be resident in Poland before that date. So literally, I arrived here December 16th. December 17th, the very first thing I did was meet with Sylvia. So it was like Sylvia was really my introduction to Poland. And not only that, we were going to the government offices. So Sylvia,
The first day?
the very first day. So Sylvia was like my first experience of Poland. So we'll talk about that. But I also thought we worked with Marcin probably even more because then when Nina arrived subsequently, and Nina's case was even more challenging because it's harder for a Russian citizen to get here than a British citizen. And I think, so we were introduced to Marcin, and Marcin kind of worked on the Nina
and
case.
this is a result of work. So my carta pobytu. Yeah, it's like permission to stay in Poland, and I got it for 3 years. It's amazing, really. It was very helpful.
What was very cool about working with at first I was a little disappointed because I loved working with Sylvia. Sylvia was just awesome in every way, and she worked with me, and everything got done. And then when we started working for Nina, it's like, he's Marcin. I'm like, oh no, it's not going to be sit out. Sylvia was like, awesome. I'm like, but Marcin was unbelievable, and for two reasons. So one, Marcin actually worked. What was your previous job before you came to Craigspire?
I was working for 2 years in the immigration office, so I know this process a little bit from the inside. I know what we have to do to help the expats to legalize their stay, their work in Krakow. So it's easier for me, but as a result, it's easier for the expats to.
So
You know the process from inside,
So
from
Marcin-
different side, not from
Marcin's
side
actually
customer.
the guy in the government that you're dealing with. Marcin was the guy in the
It's
government
just
that you're
interpretation.
dealing
Okay,
with.
I will tell you how.
You know, the Marcin's the guy that, you know, you're giving all your applications to and is making all the decisions. So one, it was incredibly helpful because Marcin knows exactly how everything works and like how it really works, not maybe how it looks on the official documents and so on. He knows how the building works. He knows the personalities. But two, everybody in the building, what do you call the building that you go to? That big building that we go to all the time.
Urząd?
Urząd.
Urgent.
It's not French, my love.
Always one building you go to, and it kind of looks like an
Sure.
old Soviet building, and it's got flags and things all over it.
It's the most bureaucratic place, maybe, you know, just where, but they decided.
Marcin
a lot of
knows
very
everybody.
important
Marcin
questions.
knows everybody in the building. And you know what? Here's the second thing that was actually great about working with Marcin. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Like, he is not a government, he does not come across like a government guy. He's the warmest, friendliest, most human guy. And not only did that make him lovely to work with, because we really liked you as a person, but you could tell in the building that everybody loves Marcin. Like, you could tell when Marcin was there, people are smiling and like waving at him. Now, what a difference that makes. I mean, actually, when you go to the building, there's a guy at the door, kind of a grumpy looking guy, and he only speaks Polish. And I don't even think I would have been able to get in the building, because there's always a crowd when you get there, and he seems to be he's like God. He's deciding
he's pointing
he
on.
He decides who gets in the building and who doesn't. And if you don't speak Polish, it's like you're not even going to get in if you've got an appointment or not, because you can't communicate with this guy. And I was just grateful for both Marcin and Sylvia, because the first thing they do is they talk to the guy. They go like, "This is my Polish, blah 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 blah," and the guy's like, "Come on in." So you walk in, and the guy's like smiling at Marcin because he knows Marcin. At one point, Nina and I had to go for an interview. If you ever see the movie Green Card, I recommend you watch the movie Green Card, because it's about it's about people trying to get a green card in America, and they're both interviewed as a couple.
Wow, yes, it's an interesting piece of that.
To us. We were interviewed, and they take you in like separately, and they want to make sure that you're a proper couple and you get the answers. But Marcin sort of coached us through that in the right way, made it not so intimidating. The best thing of all was we had to wait for that interview, and when it came up, the day that we went there, the guy was sick, who was meant to do us. And we'd been waiting and waiting and waiting for this interview. And,
Like
we got
the
there, and
officer.
the guy was not there. Now, I think in any other circumstance, they would have just kicked you out and said, we're rescheduled. Marcin was like, give me a second. And it's like the head of the department came down. And whatever was happening in her day, she stopped. And she interviewed like Nina and I.
Yeah,
I mean,
and Marcin helped us in translation from Polish to English and even Russian. He speaks Russian also.
Marcin was in the room. And the funny thing was, because, I mean, one, it was very helpful, you being in the room. Secondly, we could tell that this woman liked you. Because, like, if we said something funny, she would sort of, like, look at you like, almost like, who are these? Who are these people? But Marcin also knew when we were, like, contradicting each other. Because we do live with it. I mean, we've been partners for a long time, but, you know, you don't know everything. And sometimes your memories are affected. Marcin was like... But, you know, it made a tough process. One, about as easy as it could be. And actually, I got to say, the Polish authorities at the end of the day, surprisingly to me how well they work. If you have an appointment, they were always on time. We were usually in and out, like within 20 minutes. They were courteous. Was credit to them, because that's not how it is in the US. It's not how it is in the UK. So credit to them in that the process is pretty efficient and pretty good. But you guys made it much, much easier to navigate that. But the most important thing of all is you made it human. You put a human touch to it, where you felt like you were dealing with friends and personalities. You didn't feel like you were dealing with lawyers, and it was kind of cold and detached. But Marcin, while we're talking about like how you helped us, maybe you could just talk a little bit about kind of what you do here at KRAKSPIRE. You know, kind of what your role is, and you know how you help people.
You mentioned about, I think, the most important thing about our business here, our job here, that we just want to make as an expats, your life easier here, because we know that coming here, changing the country, the continent, and the apartments, changing the environment could be really stressful, really tough for you. But we know some of the rules here. We know how to fill some documents, which is not that tough. But we know that it's not easy to do it, especially you have to do it in Polish, so you could have a problem.
No, that was very helpful.
But we know those rules, and we we will be sure that during this process we're sure that you don't have to bother about it and you don't have to think about it every day. What will do with my stay here, with my residence here, what's the current status of my case in the office. We have to mention that this Krakow office is still the best one in the whole Poland. So
Wow.
you were lucky that you came in Krakow.
What makes it the best one?
This place is the easiest place to get any information about your case. There's no such a possibility in every voivodeships. There are really nice, kind people inside, to be honest, and even if there is some kind of border barrier between like people and the law and some kind of articles, etc. They can explain you everything, and they really want to help you to have less cases, I suppose, but they're really nice people too. So I think you were lucky, but we are lucky too that we are working in Krakow, and yeah, I think it's a really nice place. Of course, as I mentioned, there's a lot of barriers where there's language, articles and laws, but we are here to help you to avoid the contact with those things. So.
Well, thank you. We really appreciated what you did for it, and you always had a positive attitude to it. You always reassured us and make us feel like we were going to get a positive outcome.
We are here to find always find a solution for you. We think that always is the way to get your things done here.
And when did you join Craigspire?
February this year.
February this year. So literally, we probably started working with you.
You were
one of the first, like within a month of your career. So tell me honestly, now that you've been here for like just more than 6 months, what do you like best? Did you like best working in which side of this fence?
Yeah, both sides are very interesting. It's very interesting to hear all of those stories because in the end the most important thing in this whole process is the human being, and the stories of lives of those expats who came here. It's really interesting. Sometimes it's really sad. So sometimes it's very romantic because you interview a lot of relationships like you.
Couples.
But which do you enjoy the most? Do you think?
Which, of course, it's easier to help the foreigners here.
Okay.
There are no.
You have a little bit more liberty, perhaps. It's less sort of strict
course.
in terms of.
It's easier, and we have a chance to find some holes or some ways to help you. We're not like restricted by some.
Be more flexible, like.
Especially we can speak English here or Russian.
Oh, great! Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Just two.
Just two.
Yeah, and the Polish.
Polish, Russian, you have?
Yeah, Russian with
And
bit
English.
and English.
Excellent for us.
In the office, it's not possible to speak foreign languages.
Okay.
You have to speak Polish.
So it's very precious for us to hear that you enjoyed the individual approach, because actually I used to be expat myself for 5 years.
You're from Belgium?
In Belgium.
Okay.
And you would say, okay, Belgium is also European Union, and okay, stuff is similar there, but not entirely. I mean, as you mentioned, like stress combined with moving to other country, to starting new job there and so on, getting completely new people, leaving all your friends behind, kind of. It's always, it's I was struggling with it.
Yeah.
And so that was also my idea of Craigspire, to give this feeling that you can trust people here as well.
Right.
That they will take care of you, that they do care about you.
Really struck me was that your sort of personality and your warmth, it actually even came through in the emails. Like even before I met you or talked to you, just when you were answering, you kind of did it in a non sort of legal way. It felt like you were talking to a person, and it felt like you were talking to a human being. And your English is perfect as well. So it made me feel, it was a positive experience for me, and it was something that made me feel. You were the sort of first person that I connected with, where I thought, this has got a great challenge that I'm embarking on. We might just be able to pull it off. We might just be able to do it, because if I'm going to work with people like you, then I can see that this can be positive or possible. But then when I met you, equally, you were so warm and so natural. And I think, that first day, that first experience got me off on the right foot. Like your first impressions are important. So my first impression of Poland was a positive one. It could have been the opposite. It could have been tough. It could have gone wrong. It could have been stressful. And then then you get off on a bad foot. But, I got off on a good foot, and then good things seem to happen from that. That's kind of even why I started the channel.
Okay.
Because I didn't come here with a view to start from LA to Krakow, but I began to experience some positive things. I want to capture this.
You want to share this?
Because I think this is going to be a good experience, and it was. But it was important because you were the first part of it. And thankfully, the company that I worked for and everything else also proved to be positive. And at the end of the day, I actually think Polish people are pretty nice people, pretty good people. So we've enjoyed many things. But you were the first. You got it off on the right foot. You were recommended to me. And I've seen you recommended a number of times. Like people who work with you enjoy working with you and recommend you to others. So that's why I'm happy to make this video today. Because I know if you're watching this video and you're thinking about coming to Poland and you're a little bit intimidated by it, there's probably a bunch of great people here to work with. But if you come and work with Sylvia and Craigspire, you're really, really going to be in good hands. Anyway, what I really wanted to ask you about, though, is you helped both Nina and I to get our residency here. We had different challenges, being from different countries and different situations, but your company and Marcin sort of helped us through that. But I think I'd love to know a little bit more about what Craigspire does, because I think we only sort of used one little bit of what this company is about. So I'd love if you could tell me more about what else Craigspire does, the sort of breadth, and maybe like what your plans are if you're thinking of doing anything different or new, what your vision is for this.
Yes, what else? So, of course, relocation has lots of meanings, indeed. What does it exactly mean when we talk about support from Craigspire? It is next to the residence and work permits. It is also help with all other type of administrative issues. Also, maybe one day for you guys, we would be interested in obtaining Polish citizenship. There we have as well to prepare those type of documents, which would make you eligible to get to be a Polish citizen. And you would say, yeah, okay, again, preparing pile of papers. All these documents actually need a procedure themselves to be ready. For instance, your transcript of marriage certificate, you need get a Polish version of that,
Right.
and then starts other offices are involved and other
Institutions.
exactly are involved where we have to work. What else? As mentioned before, the driver's license, definitely the car registrations.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know that, and I haven't sought to get my driver's license
Sure.
yet, but I think that might be next.
Please.
Basically,
if you
we are
will.
trying to listen to the needs of our customers because Even Poles have troubles with this administrative processes sometimes.
Yes.
Like it's intimidating for us also
Yeah.
to get things done at the urząd, and it's even harder when you don't know the language. And administrative processes are hard even for us, for natives
Yes.
here.
I
So-
completely relate to it. I mean, that's true of the US for sure as well.
Sometimes we need help getting something done
Ah,
for
okay.
ourselves. So we
That's
are trying
really
to make
interesting.
it,
So you have Polish customers
uh,
as well as expats?
We have.
Or would you like to get Polish?
We do have customers with Polish partners.
Okay.
So you would say, okay, I have a Polish partner. He speaks Polish. Everything
so it's
is
easy to
ready.
done, but
Okay.
it's really
Not
easy.
entirely. Plus, lots of people say, okay, I don't have time for this. I hate this. And to be honest with you, it's not that we love administration.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say that's the least part of the job that we like to get.
You must
paid
love it a
for.
little bit to be doing this for a career.
Well, filling out papers. I mean, what's
Yeah.
sexy about it? Nothing. But what we really love about this job is meeting stories of people, because there are so many interesting personalities that we have met so far here in Craigspire. So many lovely people like you and Nina.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Who really make this job a pleasure. And the satisfaction that we were able to help them, that's something which keeps us going, I think.
So, are there any other services you offer that we haven't talked about yet? I want to make sure we get a good picture of everything that you guys can help people with.
So what else? If you would search for a university, for instance, you would like to study again, we can help you enroll in one as well.
Okay.
So that's something maybe for whether somebody who finished secondary school in other country and wants to start bachelor, or finished bachelor and wants to start master in Poland, we can help to enroll. As far as I know, Asia, you are a specialist in this topic. So
I'm a student myself, so I know a little bit how it works from
Yeah.
my own experience
Right.
how to enroll on universities, because I study two faculties. And well, if anybody wants to come to Poland and study here, that's, let's say, I know something about it, so I can try to help with that, because I know many universities in Krakow and how they work actually. So
And Krakow is a fantastic city for universities, right? I mean,
Sure,
how many
it's-
universities are here? It's like
many, I don't
So-
know.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of international students.
Yes,
Come
Krakow
here.
it's very friendly to students, and when there was during the pandemic, when we studied online, the city looked like there were no people actually, because students weren't in
Yeah,
Krakow actually,
right.
or they were in their houses or dorms. So half of the people in Krakow are students, and the other half are tourists, I guess. It really looks like
Well,
that.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Next to that is like our services. I mean, indeed, like Asia said, what customers come up with.
Yeah.
We try to, we actually rarely say no, to be honest. Everything is a challenge for us. I mean, if it's new, it is a challenge to get it done. We got customers asking for support with obtaining the 500 plus money. So that's the Polish grant for children, basically, that you
Okay.
get every month.
Okay.
There are other grants, like there was a touristic.
Even like students and who can get that? You have to be a Polish citizen
you
to
don't
get that,
need to-
or just be resident here with a child.
You just need to be a resident in Poland. Basically, have already your residence permit, because that's one of the documents which is needed for the application for 500 plus. And your children should live in Poland, indeed. So you
Okay.
should have some kind of confirmation that yes, they stay in Poland.
And
So
how much is that? Like, is 500 plus is 500 the amount you get? Or?
Yes.
exactly per child.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
month.
Every month, 500 zlotys per month
That's
per
right.
child.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. There are some other grants, like also 300 zlotys to start the school, for instance. So lots of these things which not everybody knows about, but it's well, it's available. Our beautiful government gave a possibility to basically apply for kind of free money, let's say. So why not? So we're informing foreigners about this as well.
Okay.
So we got questions like how to arrange some things at ZUS, some subscriptions at ZUS, social security. So that's the
Okay.
public healthcare in Poland. Different types of statements of confirmations from the government. So if you have any administrative question that you don't know how to start with, even if it is not strictly in our offer, you can always ask us, and we will have a look how we can help.
What about then, say on the where it's not with the government, like if you're trying to find a home, dealing with the law and the landlords to rent a place, or
Yes.
schools, all those sort of things that also can be stressful when you move.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you?
Yes, we can support in searching for school or for kindergarten for kids. No problem about this. Regarding finding apartment, there we usually recommend. We have a base of our contacts, our partners, and we recommend the real estate agent, for instance, for searching for the place. If you want to open a company in Poland, we do know a lot how to open the sole proprietorship and what are the taxes and other payments combined with that, how much it would cost you, how much time it takes to start, and so on. So we would be able to lead you through steps to open sole proprietorship. With with spółka, so with limited liability company, there we again take a look to our contact lists, and basically would recommend you a really good business lawyer, a really good accountant who could lead you further, because that's already quite complicated matters. However, if you have a company and you want to use this as a base for your legal stay in Poland, we would definitely be happy to help you with residence permit.
You see, I didn't appreciate that. These are the things that I've been thinking about, because I never got my driver's license here in Poland yet, but I've been thinking about that. We're starting to think about buying a property.
Exactly.
But I didn't immediately sort of think KRAKSPIRE. I kind of had you guys as you're the immigration people, but really you're more than that. You're kind of really sort of relocation, like almost like a one-stop shop. Like I could talk to you about every aspect of my relocation, and some things you'd be able to help me with directly. It sounds like other things you have business partners or other people that you'd be able to point to, like real estate agents. I know you have a relation. I think I've seen on the Facebook or something that you work with financiers for mortgages, but
yes,
I didn't really fully appreciate that. I could probably talk to you about anything,
yes,
about every aspect. You even mentioned like with schools and getting kids in schools and things. You can give some help or perspective on some of that.
Yes, you can call it a full relocation package, actually.
So if you were to summarize in one line what KRAKSPIRE is, what would you say?
One line. We are a company which helps you to relocate and set up in Poland.
You're not a lawyer, I don't think, or you are a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
Who are you?
I'm an economist.
You're economics. Like, how did you get into this space? I'd like to understand that a little bit more.
Yes.
What's your background? I mean, did you dream when you were in university this is what you thought you were going to be? Like,
definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not. No, we moved to Poland in 2015. Actually started to do something completely different. Started an IT company, Epikia, not far away on Karmelicka.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, IT was never my favorite field.
Okay.
I was actually quite bored. I was even annoyed, so I focused on recruitment and on onboarding of people. However, as you know, ITers are quite difficult to find in Poland, so we started to look abroad. We invited
okay.
a lot of expats to
Okay.
the company. And so next step was of course question, how will we legalize this stay? How will we get them work legally at the company? And that was the first time that actually I started to dig into the Polish procedures to actually get my employees fine and safe in Poland. And then all the other questions started from them, like how can we find an apartment? Can I work as B2B with you? And all these aspects, I learned day by day, basically practiced a lot. How to help them, how to support, and then I decided we sold the company 2 years later, and then I decided to start KRAKSPIRE.
So what year was that? 2018?
March 2018.
Wow. So the company's not really that old.
It's not that old.
But I was surprised by that because, like, dealing with you guys, it felt like you'd been doing it all your lives.
Well, yeah.
But you've really built. I'm pretty impressed. Like what you've built in such a short period. How many people work for Craigspire now?
By now 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys are busy, I think.
We are really busy. Actually, the only kind of breath we had was when the pandemic started.
Okay.
So the 2 months where everything was just locked down. I was actually coming here to the office in the evening and at night so that nobody can see me, and still meeting with clients, because in fact what's most important in this job is a personal contact. It's personal contact where you can gain the trust of customer. And show that indeed you want to help him or her. We don't follow up that much on Zoom calls. We never did, even during pandemic. That's something where I always ask, actually, of course. I don't say it's my preference right away. I ask customer, what do you prefer? Should we have a call or should we meet?
Right.
And in 95% it will be a meeting.
Personal meeting, like.
Yes, personal meeting, exactly. And I was actually surprised that even during COVID, number of cases, they didn't really decrease in our cases.
Okay, yeah, I guess
people kept on coming. It's for us, it's actually like a snowball. For the first 6 months of KRAKSPIRE, it was starting slowly, but then people started recommending us, and we get more and more customers like this.
Yeah. So you guys, let's talk about something a little bit different, and let's talk about your marketing.
That's our specialist marketing. She's doing a wonderful job.
So you're here as an intern, or you're here as an employee, like
Employee already.
Employee already.
Yes.
Wow. When do you finish college?
I studied 2 faculties, and
Okay.
I study psychology, and I finished this year.
Okay.
So I'm doing my master's there. And I started marketing last year when the pandemic started.
Okay.
To get busy.
And you've already got a job.
And yes.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes,
Congratulations.
I'm very grateful to see for the opportunity to work here. And I think.
So your job is just going to be marketing, or are you going to sort of get involved in the other things that
Marketing is the
Craigspire?
first thing. The main thing that I'm taking care of. I'm trying to get our company more recognizable in the social media.
Okay.
Very successful.
Okay, great.
We are trying. Yes, and I'm also answering to some questions. I'm not that familiar with all the process, so I don't know I don't have the knowledge of Sylvia and Martin. But I'm also trying to help whenever I can. And when they are busy with more complicated stuff, I try to help them with something that is not that complicated.
Okay.
But
Well, I'm
if
sure
give
you.
her Asha half an hour and she will find answer to all questions or all new topics that we would be involved in.
Sometimes
She's a smart cookie. That's really, okay.
some of the things that the customers ask us are new to us. Actually, we don't know ourselves how
Okay.
to proceed with this, so we need to do our research first. And well, it's easier for us because we know Polish language and we know which urząd to go or which urząd to call and ask these things. But well, it's easier for us to get this knowledge than the foreigners. So we are trying to help them this way.
That's awesome. So I know that you get a lot of business through word of mouth because that's how I learned about you. Somebody said, don't worry. They didn't say Craigspire, they said work with Sylvia.
Okay.
And then I've seen on Facebook a number of times when
Yes.
people outside the country have said we need help, and other people have answered work with Sylvia, work with Sylvia. So I know that you get probably pretty healthy
Reputation.
number of clients just from your reputation. But it's interesting that you're also sort of going and getting some more. You have some marketing initiatives, some marketing ideas. What's your kind of vision then of where Craigspire is now? What's your looking forward? What's the vision? What are you trying to become? What's the marketing trying to help you with?
Well, that's a good question. I should think this through. But how I feel about this, maybe I will say, is to definitely grow with more consultants. Keep the happy and friendly and great atmosphere in the office. I hope Asia will agree. Because we have quite a relaxed approach here in the office.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not this type of boss who would check the hour and tell you have to be here, stay here 8 hours and whatever you do, but just sit down. And no, that's not our management style. Definitely not. But indeed, growing into few more people still and becoming #1 agency for relocation. Definitely in Krakow, maybe a few years in Poland as well.
Okay.
We started already to work in other immigration offices than the Polish, the Krakow one. We do have some cases in Warsaw, we do have some cases in Wrocław, in Gdańsk. We see how terrible it works there. So that's why I'm saying like maybe a few years in entire Poland, because comparing indeed what Marcin mentioned before, comparing the local immigration office with immigration offices in other parts of Poland, this one is just wonderful. This is a dream.
Okay.
You have to compare that in Wrocław people are waiting 1.5 years to 2 years for their residence permit.
Okay.
And whatever you try to do as attorney, because of course we always try to speed it up and we will not leave these inspectors alone until they give us a promise that it's going to be finished soon, or just let us know what other documents are missing and we will deliver them immediately. But please proceed. Because we know that on the other hand we have our customers waiting. Maybe they have some troubles in plan. Maybe they've got somebody ill in their home country and they want to visit him. So that's really like life stories, life tragedies sometimes.
Yeah.
So we cannot allow that saying whatever by the immigration office will like destroy these plans. We do work already in other parts of Poland. Maybe in the future we start another office in one of the cities, in one of other cities.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Wow, I'm pretty excited by that. That definitely sounds like there's opportunities there. So if I was somebody sitting in another country, like really wanting to come, I know there's a lot of people think about how can we get the EU, but it sounds like Krakow is something to think about because you're saying it can be a little better process-wise to come through Krakow than other parts of Poland. Poland is pretty competitive cost-wise compared to the countries in the EU, and then there's people like you to work with. So it's almost like say, hey, think about Krakow.
Yes.
There's reasons to think about Krakow on our
You
channel.
both show the best of Krakow in your videos, so it's also an advertisement of the city to come and visit or stay for a little bit longer.
Okay.
That's true.
You know, I think the challenge for you is, you know, you're selling, like, you are so much more than a dry legal company. And when people work with you, they'll know that and they'll get that through word of mouth. But for marketing, it's like, you know, if you go on a Craigspire Facebook page, it's like, how do you get that? How do you get that across? But you've really got a good business advantage there with that, I think. So,
I've got great people in my team.
yeah.
Which is basically, I would say, 70% of success. At
Yeah.
least.
Right, exactly. I said that was our experience with Marcin.
But I saw your face though. I remember you sitting here,
Yeah.
and then I introduced Marcin. You were like, I saw this for a moment, and then you came back to, okay. yes. Then I was thinking about this, but yeah.
You're handing our case to somebody else. No.
But I knew that he's.
Well, because I thought he might be more like you had a personality and a warm personality, and I was like, I didn't know what his personality was going to be like, and I thought, there's no way it's going to be. And he was a guy, and I'm kind of thinking, like a guy is not going to be warm and human like Sylvia, but he's incredibly warm.
Yeah.
You know, he's the sort of guy that if I met in any other environment, I would relate to him. Not a sort of like an official, like somebody that you would think comes from an official background. So that says a lot about that. That really sort of defines and says a lot about what you're trying to do. That you hire people like that.
Yes.
It's part of our job to be like that, of the consultant job for particularly. But we need to be friendly, and we need to listen to our customers and relate to them and understand their situation, not just from the bureaucratic and administrative side, but also why they want to come here and how we can help them for the best way we can, and just to make this process easier for them, because it's always so stressful to change the country, and we understand that. Sylvia knows that from her own experience. Tatiana also knows that from her own experience. So we know why you are all stressed, and we want to calm you down and help you through the process.
Well, thank you for allowing us to come and talk to you and
Thank you so
learn
much.
more about you.
Thank you so much that you actually found it interesting enough to create content about this, because
We are not a restaurant, but we have a good coffee.
Thank you. Actually, your coffee was surprisingly good. If you want some, you know, I could make a recommendation with you. A donut could really that would take you from an A to an A plus. We passed a donut place on the way, so you know, a couple of donuts from there would absolutely seal the deal.
What's the easiest way to reach you? Like
Easiest way?
Instagram, maybe
Yeah,
Facebook.
We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah. Oh, great! We will show all these contacts in the description to our videos that people can reach you, because it's a way to communicate
The most
now.
content we have on Facebook, because we always post the most important things, any changes in law, anything new that happens in Poland, and in particular in Krakow, any interesting events to join for the expats.
Yeah.
So
So guys, yeah, if you're really interested to get more information and contact, so please
Just search
just
Craigspire.
follow.
KRAKSPIRE. Search Craigspire on Facebook.
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn,
Instagram.
and also we are getting our new website prepared. So
Okay,
also
so
check
it's
that
going
out.
to be
Online, it should be online today.
really
Yes. So
Craigspire.pl.
.com.
.com.
Craigspire.com. Whoa, wow.
International.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, we have also a blog there with the most important articles about any law changes
Okay.
or the procedures that you might be interested, like getting EU cards or apostille of documents or any sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that.
Yeah, that's our main room, I would say, where I try to make it cozy.
Wow, it looks good.
Nice.
And here we eating lunches usually at the big table.
It's a big space and equipped like
How many
furniture nice.
languages do your team speak?
All together it will be so Polish, my German, Dutch, I would include, English, the Russian, 5.
Do you need more? I mean, do you get? What about people from Asia and from more remote parts of the world? India, I know you get a lot like maybe from like India who want to come and be students.
Yes.
Any plans to sort of get more language capabilities like that?
There's no real need to.
Okay.
Actually, usually people who come here, they do speak already English.
English, yeah, English
or
speaking.
Russian. Or Russian. So
Okay.
Yes.
When they want to move to Krakow and actually live here, they need to know some common language.
Yeah.
Maybe not Polish. However, there are some lessons for Polish language and stuff for everyone. So also recommended. But they always
Some
need
European
to
language,
speak,
some international.
English at least a little bit to communicate with
that's true. And I would love to use my German, for instance, more often because it gets very rotten. But there is no opportunity to do it.
Okay.
So that's something where languages indeed we keep at.
Spanish, is that right?
I would say most closely. If we would have to include another language, Spanish. It would be Spanish. But there is no real. Of course, it would be more fluent, let's say, if it would be possible. But there is no real need, I would say.
Okay. Are you originally from Krakow?
No, study. That's the town next to Krakow.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So I studied here in Krakow, and when I was coming back from Belgium, Krakow was the place to be. So I didn't think even about any other city, to be honest.
We understand. We understand. All right, we go. Thank you.
Thank you so much.